video on Jazz 10K, senior artisans editor from Variety. Wasn't that amazing preview, right? My goodness, and seeing on the big screen, what a treat. I'm so excited to be here tonight. I'm sure you know all about my guest tonight, Sanjay Leela Bhansali. What to say about this incredible person? His career spans 3 incredible decades. I want you to give it up, right? Because listen to some of this. He is a recipient of the Padma Shri, which is India's 4th highest civilian award for his contribution to Indian cinema. I mean, we're talking legend here. Sanjay was nominated for a BAFTA too in 2002, and he has received 7 national film awards. And I could go on, but I know we just want to talk about his incredible work tonight. So please give it up for Sanjay. I'm just reading last night, yesterday, so you're a little bit jet lagged.
Yes.
We're so excited to be celebrating your work and talking about your American career. I want to start with GANGUBAI KATHIAWADI, which is one of the biggest hits of 2022. It's streaming on Netflix, so if you want to go home and watch it again, you can go ahead and do that. But I love this story because you feature a strong female performer at the center of it all, with this incredible narrative. Alia Bhatt, who is an incredible actress. Yes. But I want to talk about your casting process and why you focus on telling stories of these incredible women at the center of your narratives.
So first casting.
Yeah, let's talk about casting.
First of all, thank you for coming here tonight. It means a lot to a filmmaker when his work is seen, appreciated, criticized, whatever. But as long as it is conversation, it's very good. Casting. It's instinctive, it's intuitive, it is. Alia Bhatt didn't want to play this role. When she read the script, she says, but this is not me, this girl I don't know at all. Because this character from Mumbai comes from the dark lanes of Kamatipura, the red light area in Mumbai. And she is completely unaware of that world. She was not acquainted with those people, those faces, those stories. So I said, you just leave everything to me, let me just handle it. Because I know you're an incredible actor. I know you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Everything is written over there. But I don't know, there were many other actors who could have taken Mumbai, but I wanted Alia because I saw some fire in the eyes, I saw some talent that had not been exploited so far. So it's a very intuitive process. You just want to cast a particular person. And it just worked like magic because when she saw the film, she realized that she had so much untapped potential that she had never realized that she was filled with it. She didn't realize how talented she was. She's a very big star, but to be able to put a role like GANGUBAI and to be able to do those things that this character did, this wonderful character, such a strong female character that she was in real life. So I think she was very happy that she did it at the end of it. Strong female characters in my films, yes, we come from a land where we worship the goddess. I've seen very, very strong women all around in my life. And I think women need to be heard. Women need to be seen. Their stories need to be told. They're the creator of mankind. I think we're all born to a woman. That needs to be told, absolutely. And GANGUBAI was a very fascinating character in real life. A simple girl who came from Gujarat, a place in India, and then to be thrown into this world of sex trade and sold to a brothel. But she emerged out of it. And that story of how she then became the masiha for the other prostitutes, as we would call them, as she herself very comfortably calls herself, that's my profession. And all those things about GANGUBAI which I read, I found them very fascinating. And I said, this story needs to be told, to emerge from the ashes, to rise like a phoenix, to do something, some good for another human being. And I think all my stories and all my women and all my films have always been stories that needed to be told, that I needed to tell from people.
Oh my gosh, we love it. We want you to continue doing what you're doing. So you got a tease tonight, a quick look at Heeramandi, which is coming to Netflix on May the 1st. It's beautiful, but also dark. There's a dark world that we're dealing with because we're dealing with colonialism. But talk about the story of bringing that to the screen or to Netflix, because it wasn't something you've been working with it for over a decade, right?
There was a gentleman called Moin Bey who is, it's his original concept. He came to me 18 years ago and said, "Here's this script," and I said, "I'll make it sometime, I'll make it another time." And I kept making different films and kept keeping Heeramandi on the side. Till I realized Heeramandi wanted to be made. The script wanted itself to be made, and I believe in that very strongly. All my films have always been there with me for 8 years, 10 years before I get down to filming them. Because you need to live with the idea, you need to live with that inner world, you need to nurture that idea. Like you would nurture a plant, you would see it grow slowly and steadily in your mind till you are ready to make it. And I felt that this time Heeramandi categorically said, I speak to my scripts, which you will find a little abstract and funny. But I think Heeramandi finally decided that it had to be made, it had to be seen by the world, and no better place to show it than Netflix, because that is where your work as a filmer gets shown to so many different countries, goes to, which otherwise as a film would not necessarily travel to so many people. It's a world of courtesans. It's a world of 1940s, 1930s, where it was undivided India, and the courtesans ruled in some way because the patrons that they had were the Nawabs. The Nawabs were the aristocracy of India, and they were rich, and they looked after them, and they were politically connected, these courtesans. They were very, very powerful in terms of money, in terms of connections, in terms of what they can achieve in life. So, and then I realized that we were talking about courtesans. They have all stories to tell. They're just not beautiful women who wear beautiful clothes and sing and dance. Also, besides that, I also felt that the stories of courtesans need to be told, because today we don't see them. They are now a thing of the past. This art of living, the way they sang, the poetry that they understood, they wrote, the kind of lifestyle they lived, the use of perfumes, the use of silks, the use of architecture, the use of women who lived their lives to the fullest. But they had a story to tell. They were all women, I think, caged in those gilded cages, golden cages, and they wanted to just always find freedom. So Heeramandi talks about these women who actually, they want to find freedom away from this world of Heeramandi, which is glamorous, which is beautiful, but not necessarily the dignity that they would have liked themselves to have. I mean, every woman wants a dignity, a right. They need to be heard, said. There's so much more that these courtesans have to say. And how they find their purpose in life, their own identity, when they join into the freedom struggle for India. So in 1950, and these are unsung heroes. Their stories are never mentioned in history. And we wanted to pay tribute to these women who stood up and fought for the nation's independence and found a purpose in life. So Heeramandi in that way is very special. It's just not about songs and kothas and brothels. It's a lot more than that.
I love that. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to producer Prerna Singh, who is here. Prerna, stand up. Sharon said, Singer, where are you both standing and waving? There you go. Thank you for being here tonight. So to go back to this theme of the political world and the brothels, but it's the storytelling and the music. How do you navigate getting that balance right of the storytelling and then I'm going to insert a musical element here?
I think the most important is the narrative, the most important is the screenplay, the most important is the characters that you write, and then everything builds around them. I mean, what kind of architecture or what kind of walls, what kind of clothes do these women wear, that fascinates me as a filmmaker. in my film, I think not only the actors, the walls have to perform, the fountains have to perform, the chandeliers have to perform. And I am fascinated by all these because I think architecture is something, if I wasn't a filmmaker, I would have been an architect or an interior designer because it really fascinates me. It's, spaces. Spaces, the mind space and the physical space, everything just matters to me as a filmmaker. And to be able to use every inch of space that you finally set your frame and you watch, so everything is painted, everything is specifically done for every shot that I put. These are all very, textiles are very, very important. Fabric is very important because every character, you wear certain kind of clothes and therefore you become you. And therefore that's how we know jazz, that's how you would dress up, that's how he would dress up or she would dress up. So clothes help me creating a character. So I put a lot of effort in dressing people up, not only women, the men also, everybody's dressed up. The walls are dressed up, everything is dressed up. And music is extremely important. Anything that I start, any film that I start in my life, I start with a music or a melody or a song that comes to my mind. I'm not a trained musician, but I'm like those folk singers who suddenly start singing a song and that's the song of the character, and then I build on it and I develop it and I record and I re-record. And the song is not over till you make the music, then you have to choreograph it, and then you have to see, then you edit it, then it all comes together. And music is something that is such an inseparable part of Indian filmmaking in so many ways. Most of the Indian cinema, which you all call Bollywood, which I would call Indian cinema, is nothing but songs and dances put together in the narrative. I mean, the Indian audiences want that. And that makes Indian cinema very special, very different from world cinema. And I think that's a legacy of the great filmmakers like Mehboob Khan and Raj Kapoor and V. Shankaram. And that's a legacy that I would like to take ahead and build on it and for the future generation of filmmakers to come. So music, art, choreography, all these excite me immensely as a filmmaker. I don't necessarily only concentrate on that. My actors and the performances are extremely important, but I enjoy the entire process of making it.
And you are certainly making a mark in the world, and your legacy will be long lived. Right?
Yes.
So I'm obsessed with this world that you built in Hiramandi, talking about, every single frame, if you pause it, could be hung in the Louvre. It's so beautiful, the detail. I read some of it was the most challenging set for you to build. Talk about the challenge of building a palace in Mastani.
Everything is challenging for you. You may start with anything. I mean, you handle, how do you get a money that's challenging? How do you get a producer that is challenging? How do you handle egos of 150 people? Everybody is very talented in their minds and they feel they are the most important things in the world. And actors, how do you handle their ego and their tantrums? And so everything is an issue, but you have to enjoy the process of filmmaking. I think everything is so challenging in terms of, especially in Hiramandi, because the scale is so huge, so humongous. The set was from the screen till the end of the lane across. And how do you light it, and how do you create 600 workers working for almost 3 months to create that set? Then how do you paint it? Then you sometimes repaint it, then you don't like the color, so you paint it one more time. Netflix people not here, I hope you're not listening. So I would not start taking a shot, I would not put the camera till I'm sure of everything is in place. And to have an ensemble cast, to have the tantrums of what is she wearing, then why am I wearing this, and why am I saying that line? She's got 2 more shots, I've got 1 less. Everything jazz is a challenge. And if you enjoy filmmaking, but I must tell you, everybody, that I had Netflix with me. They were the most, and I keep saying all the time that I have done some good karma in my life in 30 years as a filmmaker. Then I find producers like Netflix, like Monica, like Tanya, like Bella, like Ted. You don't meet people who participate in filmmaking without throwing their weight around. We are Netflix and therefore you are going to be pushed down, and nothing of that sort. They were with me, they nurtured, they sometimes even tolerated my tantrums. They got me to do exactly what they wanted me to do, but they were very polite about it, and they were very kind about it, and wonderful, absolutely. So that challenge, all the challenges become very, very simple and easy to handle if you realize that you're working with like-minded people, people who want to create a show rather than create a show about themselves, that we have done this. It's about what we have created. The product is important. So as long as the film is what matters, all challenges can be taken head on.
Yeah, I love that. You are going to give the world on May 1st this beautiful series. This is so different, like you're not doing a 2.5-hour movie, you're spreading this out. Talk to me about, as a storyteller, what was it like to live with, to be able to have, the series and...
It was a nightmare. How do you, it's like making 4 films in the span of 2 years, 2.5 years, which I would normally make 1 film in. So this time I was pushed. That was a real challenge, to be able to work hard, consistently keep your characters in track, to realize the narrative is not faltered. Oh, and then sometimes I improvise, guys. My style of filmmaking is I improvise. I suddenly spontaneously do something different on the set, because that's when there's no storyboarding. So that's when I come alive with the character is there and it's lit and all the other characters around. Then you want to play the scene differently. And then I realized that I've done something in this episode which is now going to now, because I've been over smart and I've got over spontaneous, and then I realized, I have to now adjust it over there. It's all, and to be patient, to be able to pull through an 8-hour series. It's a lot of hard work. And that too at this scale, to never let the scale go, to see that each shot that every day you take stands up to where we had started, it lives up to what we started off with. I've done this now. I don't think for another 5 years I would want to get into another big movies, because it's very difficult also, but very reassuring, because I know that we go to 190 countries where otherwise my films would have never traveled or be seen. So it's very, very nice to the ups and downs are there, but I think the ups are better than the downs.
Yeah, love it. So let's take you back to you as a young boy growing up. Where did your love for film, cinema begin?
Very, very little. I think as a small child, my father took me one day to a film studio. I was 5 years old. And he was a producer, he had producer friends, and he took me to a studio and he said, "You sit here and don't leave." So I said, okay, I saw the studio, I said, this is very familiar to me. I like this place. There was a catwalk, and there were lights, and a cabaret was being shot. My father didn't realize he put a 5-year-old boy over there, and a cabaret was being shot, and one girl in skimpy dress would eat an apple, and she would jump on his a man with very few clothes, and she would jump on him and throw the apple. And after half an hour, my father came back and realized, oh no, you're not supposed to do this. But I think my love for cinema, I was seduced. That was a place I wanted to be in. I didn't want to be in any classroom. I didn't want to be in any playground. I didn't want to be anywhere in the world but the film studio. And I still remember his words. There's no more, but don't go anywhere, be here. And I think I'm very much an obedient son that I am. I'm still very much there, living and loving every moment of what I'm doing.
Three decades of the industry, it's an incredible career that you've had, and you want to still continue making films and more Netflix series for us. What have you learned about yourself along the way with each?
That in the next birth, don't be afraid. That's the most important. Because I think it is, I'm blessed because there were so many things that I wanted to tell, what I've seen in life. I've gone through a very difficult childhood, a very difficult life ahead, behind me. I found a medium of expression. All that I knew about music, I would express myself through it. Um, what it taught me the most is that you have to manifest what you want. You have to say, I want to make this film. It has to be as good. You have to work on it for hours. So a lot of hard work. Nothing comes without hard work. It's talent. You could be talented. You could be very, very gifted in terms of getting your producers the money, raising finances, everything. You could have that, but you have to be good, working very hard. And I think hard work is finally what, because this is what you see in Heeramandi. It's hours and hours of working on one shot. And it's relentless work. So the most important thing I've learned, and I would tell any filmmaker, is you just have to work very, 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 very hard, patiently and relentlessly. I think getting this, most of them would want to leave filmmaking now.
I was going to say, like, what would you advise, anybody in the audience that, might be thinking of coming into the industry? And what would you say to them?
I think it's just to go and live it. You just have to be fearless. You just do not have to worry about box office. You do not have to worry about failure. When you worry about if a certain work of art sometimes connects, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it works wonders at the box office when you think it's not a very good. So it's all leave aside. Have you said what you wanted to say? And have you said it fearlessly and judiciously and with commitments that I feel without commitment there is no work. And do not try and get carried away with the glamour of making films and enjoy making films. Say something, leave something behind. Have your own signature, your own way of making a film. I could be criticized by a lot of filmmakers who say, oh, this is a flaw, that is a flaw. But I'm fearless. I'm open to criticism, but I'm fearless. So just don't worry about box office, don't worry about people liking your work, not liking your work. Say what you have to really reach people in some way. That's the important.
I love that. So it is truly an honor that you're here in LA with this audience tonight. Tomorrow night you have the premiere of Heeramandi at the Egyptian. What does it mean to you to be, to have this audience here tonight, to be on this premiere tomorrow? Like, do you have like a wow, like this is great, this is happening?
I love being loved. So I'm going to be loved tomorrow and the day after. I mean, every moment of screening, it's always nervous. As I told you right at the beginning outside, I said I'm nervous. When you show a film, however good you think the film is, or your series is, good your work is, still there are so many people seeing it, people with a mind, people with an ability to absorb what you're saying or connect to it or not connect to it. So you're always excited, you're always nervous. And I feel as long as I'm nervous about people seeing it, I drive all these Netflix people, Prerna and everybody mad in the office because I'm nervous. I said, no, it's good, it's very good. I said, no, people have to see it. People have to tell me that it is important that they love it. So as long as I'm nervous, I will always try to make good films because I always want to be loved now and in the future. And if I don't make the right kind of films, then I will not get loved anymore. So I will continue to work very hard to get them loved.
But we do love you. Heeramandi, we see, the audience has seen a preview tonight. I've seen a few episodes and it is incredible. What would you want to say to the audience about the show? Make sure they tune in, aside from tuning in on the first and telling everybody to watch it. What else would you want to say to them?
Same thing, love it again. Binge watch it 3 times. Keep binging it, don't stop.
All right, amazing. I want to thank you so much for coming out tonight. Before I let you go, we're going to take a selfie with facing out so we can take a photo of the crowd. And we're going to share it. I mean, you can provide it, right? Take it. Are we going to have the lights up for this? Or are we good? So we can get the crowd. We're going to stand up. Everybody stand up for this. Got it, right?
Good fun.
It's going to be fun. We got it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hiramandi paying first on Netflix.